Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's time for the TNA Wrestling Event Center. And now here's the man that always makes an impact here on YouTube, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Episode 1242, and this is the final video for February of 2024, and this is the fall TNA Impact, the TNA Event Center, the fallout from No Surrender. That's right. And as we kicked it off, as we speak about Mike Bailey went one-on-one with Steve Macklin. And the Rascals, who decided to act like soldiers for once, got involved during the matchup, distracting Mike Bailey, and Steve Macklin ended up picking up the victory over Mike Bailey. But this Steve Macklin's been running his mouth about Nick Nemeth and challenged him to a matchup. But via satellite, Nick Nemeth interrupts him. It says the reason why I'm not down there in New Orleans kicking your butt, because this is where it takes place in New Orleans, in Impact, but he's in Japan becoming the new NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling Global Champion. And looks like he's defending that title, but at Sacrifice, they will go at each other one-on-one. I highly doubt the title will be on the line if he does end up bringing the title, but, nevertheless, might I digress, it was only going to be a matter of time, basically, when those two are going to go one-on-one. So at Sacrifice, they're going one-on-one. Let's see. Then Gia Miller, Frankie Kazarian attempted to enter the arena when Gia Miller interviewed. But also he was informed by order of the TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella, that due to Frankie Kazarian's actions at No Surrender, attacking the referee, Frankie Kazarian has been suspended for 2 weeks. And then Frankie Kazarian told Gia Miller, asked Santino this question: is it the right thing to do, suspending me for 2 weeks? Well, we shall see, basically. And I gotta tell you, Frankie Kazarian, man, he's been having a different attitude ever since turning against Eric Young. Meanwhile, the X Division action: Laredo Kid versus Jake Something. Jake Something is keeping an eye on the X Division, and we'll get to the champion in just a few moments. Laredo Kid. Jake Sutton is probably the biggest guy to compete in the X Division since, I believe, Abyss did. And Samoa Joe is the largest. I think he's the biggest X Division champion is Samoa Joe. And because remember, the X Division is not about weight limits. It's about no limits. And anybody could be competing in it. And Jake Sutton ended up winning the match after a good matchup against the Laredo Kid. Now, Alan Angels got who calls himself the front man, got his own personal talk show as usual, sound check. But this time around, Big Con was the guest, and he talked to Con. Con kind of was not very amused by Alan Angels, but then PCO interrupted things, and Alan Angels tried to talk down to PCO. PCO knocks him out of the way. He looks at Khan. Both guys started brawling. I don't know when the brawl is going to stop. I don't know if it's still going on, but it is crazy to see. And I got to admit something. Big Khan and PCO, what a rivalry! What a rivalry! Now, there was a tag team matchup. Rich Swann and Say His Name. And he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. We're down to London and Paris and Tokyo. Da, 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 da. Love Joe Hendry. went up against the team of Diener and AJ Francis, making his TNA wrestling debut. And Joe Hendry decided to make fun of AJ Francis as your best friend Steve. Oh, hilarious. We've got to be watching, and you know, hey, at least you don't have to worry about calling him by the name that Michael Cole gave him, Flop Dollar. But anyways, but picking up the victory, Rich Swann and Joe Hendry picked up the victory. Meanwhile, DK, the former Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, addresses MK Ultra and basically a lot of horror history that Rosemary has been setting up, and now they probably want their belts back from MK Ultra, but you got the team of Jody Threat and Danny Luna getting involved, so I'm sure DK will have to deal with them sometime down the road. And there's a big news to come out of TNA offices ever since the new regime came into place after firing Scott D'Amore. TNA just signed one of the biggest names in the Indies. In fact, it just finished up his commitments in MLW. Hammerstone, Alexander Hammerstone, will be part of the TNA roster, and him and Josh Alexander will be fighting each other once again at Sacrifice. So it'll be a rematch between the two of them. And as on the heels of that, G. Miller decided to interview Josh Alexander about that huge signing. Josh Alexander about to say something until Dirty Dango Alpha Bravo and Oleg Prudius interrupted him, and it seems like Dirty Dango wants the spotlight to himself, but he hates professional wrestling. Dirty Dango, Alpha Johnny, his ding dongs hurt. Bravo. Which I think was pretty funny when he says it. His ding dongs hurt. And then Oleg Prudius, the man formerly known as Vladimir Kozlov. You know what? If he ever came back to the WWE, Oleg Prudius and Vladimir Kozlov, I want to see him and Gunther go one-on-one for the Intercontinental title. Gunther said he's learning how to challenges. Hey, why don't we do this? If the WWE decides to open up the big forbidden door, there'll be some more challenges. Say, I want to take on Gunther. Imagine Oleg Prudius comes back as Vladimir Kozlov in the WWE and says, I want your WWE Intercontinental Championship. Gunther versus Oleg Prudius, a.k.a. Vladimir Kozlov. I would pay to see that matchup. I would pay to see that matchup. For sure. Definitely. So, but Dirty Dango, Alpha Bravo, and Oleg Prudius made Josh Alexander walk out in the interview for interrupting him. It looks like Alexander's will have enough. Well, the Good Hands were in the ring to help Mustafa Ali celebrate his X Division title celebration with an inaugural ceremony. You know, and he was talking. Chris Sabin comes out and said, hey, listen, when I talk about change, it's just change, but being who you are and all that, but, and fulfilling your dreams and doing something, out there. But the Good Hands and Mustafa Ali, I think they tried to attack Chris Sabin, and then the Intergalactic Jet Setters, team Kevin Knight and Kushida came in to aid him. So that's a huge deal. But then George Iceman comes out and introduces Ash by Elegance, who is announced that she'll be wrestling in her second match next week. Who is it against? Who knows? And if I were Ash by Elegance, you keep wrestling, keep working hard, so you can try to challenge for the Knockouts Championship. Speaking of which, before then, Ali was upset at saving the Intergalactic Jet Setters, and he says something's going to be done, and he tells the Good Hands to move it. But at Sacrifice, there'll be a trios matchup, a six-man tag, as Mustafa Ali and the Good Hands go up against the team of Chris Sabin and the Intergalactic Jet Setters. That will be Kushida and Kevin Knight. One-on-one matchup. Now, this matchup is title implications, number one contendership for the Knockouts title at Sacrifice. These two ladies went at it. Zaya Brookside went out to steals, and these two ladies brawled to the point where they were both counted out, a double count out. But Jordan Grace, who was watching the match backstage, came out and said, hey, you know what? I sacrificed 2 of you guys and me in a triple threat match. So, Xia Brookside versus Tasha Steelz versus defending champ Jordan Grace. Good move on her part. And then Rhino addresses Crazy Steve. It seems like Rhino is not done with Crazy Steve Lockshot and wants that digital title. The main event, a trios match of the system that consists of world champ Moose, who we interviewed last week, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers, which is crazy, a guy from Boston, and a guy from New York teaming up. I would call them the rivalry. But they'll have the lovely wife of Eddie Edwards in their corner, Alicia, to go up against ABC, the current tag team champions. That's Ace Austin and Chris Bay of the Bullet Club, and Eric Young, who's the number 1 challenger to Moose's world title. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Alicia Edwards, the system ended up winning the matchup for their team. And that is all the time we have on the show. The final day of February. So we're going to go into March tomorrow. We're going to march into the bonus island. We got SmackDown NXT Level Up. We also got AEW Rampage. And tomorrow also I'll give my picks predictions for AEW Revolution as well. I think that'll be Saturday after Collision. So until the next episode comes rolling around, ladies and gentlemen, remember, like this video or any other videos I do, subscribe, bell for notification, give it a like, and tell everybody you know about this channel, okay? So thank you for tuning in. So until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, please take us home. That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.